Living in a mall or a store is a very common fantasy.
I'm not supposed to talk during these teases. I just can't keep
But
a straight face.
he can't control his asshole tendencies.
Oh, let's just get on with the show.
Hey.
Okay. Welcome, everyone, to the Weird World Podcast. I'm Dean.
I'm Carrie.
Carrie is going to tell us about the common fantasy.
No. Here's one for you.
Okay.
Trummerkind. Have you ever heard of the Trummerkind?
Tremor. I don't know how to even spell that, let alone tell you what it means.
Trummerkind. Next, you're going to tell me this doesn't exist because you've never heard of it.
No, I've never heard of that, though. But I believe you that it exists.
It means children of the ruins.
Ooh, I love that.
It refers to the orphans of war-torn countries in Europe. The children who basically had to live in the rubble of their bombed-out cities and buildings because their parents
that makes
have
sense.
died.
I can see living in a mall being a fantasy in post-war Germany. Yes. Children of the Ruins, by the way, sounds like a great fantasy novel
does.
or a Led Zeppelin album, right?
Sure.
Did you think? Possibly.
Sure.
Going way back.
So we're going to go from the sadness and
Devastation of war-torn Germany where people
of the Trummerkind
just wanted a roof.
It'll come back later in our story.
Oh, okay.
But it's a group called the Trummerkind, and that's what we're going to be talking about.
A group. Oh.
Uh-huh.
Are they like the
Of
travelers,
people.
those people who tell
No.
you, I was just in the neighborhood to fix your roof, fix your neighbor's roof, and I thought I could fix your roof, got some leftover materials, and they were going to scam you? Is it like that?
No, those are called travelers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that might be similar.
No.
Damn it. Are
And
they
then
inbred? No.
No. We're going to talk. This is a story starting in the late 90s in Providence, Rhode Island.
Providence.
Of all places.
Home of, almost
Family
the
Guy.
home of Family Guy. They live in Quahog, nearby, I'm sure.
Which can't be too far from
Can't
Providence.
be,
Because
no.
nothing is too far from anywhere in Providence,
No.
right?
I think you can walk across the state in 4 hours. That's probably not true.
Well, in the late 90s to like the early 2000s, downtown Providence was being rejuvenated. Old, probably beautiful historic buildings were being torn down. And
Like H.P. Lovecraft's house where he had his pet cat, N-word, the actual word.
in Providence? Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, I think it was pretty industrial, right? Before, back in the day. And it was probably run down and needed something.
All those old East Coast cities.
Yeah, but I'm a fan of rejuvenating old buildings.
You are. You're a big fan of old buildings.
Yes, I am. Well, so anyway, a developer.
Especially old malls. You love old malls.
No, I don't love them. I don't love any malls. But anyway, a developer bought a big bunch of downtown land. It was kind of between downtown Providence and another area called the Mill District, which was very industrial with a bunch of old factory buildings and stuff like that. Probably a mill.
Probably. Let's go with that.
And so they built, they bought all this land to build a mall. And it was going to be like one of those super regional malls.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Serving the
very big.
entire state of Rhode Island. From Waterbury through Providence, that's Connecticut, all the way up to not that close to Boston.
Yeah, I was going to say probably and then some. They were starting construction in 1997. It would take them 2 years to build it. They finished it in 1999. I said it was a super regional mall. Guess how much this mall cost in 1997 monies?
Ooh, I'm going to say a lot. There were some tax reasons that we built a lot of malls there.
Yeah.
Some very beneficial, some really ridiculous tax benefits to these developers. I'm going to say $280 million then.
No, not even close. $500 million.
Oh, my Lord.
I know.
That's $7.14 trillion in today's money. Am I right?
Probably not quite that much. I didn't look it up. Anyway, and across the river, you want to know what river?
Hold on, don't tell me.
I gotta find
a river in Providence?
Yeah.
The Pawtucket River. I have absolutely no idea.
You got the Tucket right.
Nantucket. No.
Woonasquatucket.
That's fake. You made it up.
Woonasquatucket. I'm sure that's not how you say it.
You're literally making it up again. Change it every time.
It's probably
'cause
like
made up. You might as well.
Woonasquatucket. I don't know. But
You're,
anyway.
you're just literally making up words. And
No,
I find
I'm
it
not.
offensive to my Native American heritage that I don't have.
The fact that you think it's a made-up word is what's highly offensive to my Native American heritage. Your Native American heritage turned out to be Scottish, so
Native Scottish. Native, and they came to America, so they're Native.
anyway, across that Woonasquatucket River,
Don't.
in the mill was where the mill district was. They had, like I said, the cool little buildings and factories and stuff. There was an old factory building that was inhabited by an artist collective. And these artists, they're super cool. They called their building Fort Thunder.
Fort Thunder. That's very artistic.
It was an art space. They would host punk rock concerts. They'd have raves. They'd have art exhibitions.
This is the 90s?
Yeah.
Raves go back to the 90s? I don't know when raves started.
And then they would also use a lot of the space for art studios for other artists. There were only 11 artists actually living there at the time, but they would, bring another artist to.
Plus the ghost of John Basquiat. So there was 12 technically.
And there was literally art on every surface of this building. The floors, the walls, the ceilings.
Carrie, a lot of those were Post-it notes and they considered it art because they did it. There's some pretentiousness going on here.
Sure. Well, one of the artists, his name was Michael Townsend. He was still living in this area. He lived in Fort Thunder with his friends, and he was still there as the mall was being built. And, he and his artsy friends would sit around probably complaining and moaning about what was going on across the river over at the mall, where they're building the mall and everything. Which prior to that, it was literally just a big dirt, I think, like parking lot. It had a name like Ray's Parking Lock or something like that. So
Parking lots can be very...
lucrative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember that one? The guy who used to own the Dodgers, his whole family
Well,
fortune
yeah.
was based on parking structures and lots in downtown Boston.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name.
Well, so
Frank something, kind of a douchebag. Go ahead.
Okay. So they'd sit around talking about what was going on with the mall area, and they were thinking it's only a matter of time, right, before developers buy up
Yeah.
Fort Thunder, and we're going to be kicked out.
You know what they better do? They better start, like I alluded to earlier, start the rumor of a ghost so it's considered too scary for the people to develop and they'll scare them away. Just don't hire some meddling kids and you'll be fine.
That's true. Well, they were right to be worried because eventually, I'm not sure if it was the same developers who were building the mall or different ones, but their land was bought. They were evicted, and their wonderful Fort Thunder was demolished to make way for other probably commercial spaces and parking lots, or probably parking structures. So they all kind of have to scramble and find new places to live, which they did. And then in 2003, the mall has been open for a while. It's called Providence Place Mall.
Super clever.
All of this group of artists, they're still friends. They still get together. And Michael Townsend, he has a wife named Adriana. They hear an ad. This is the winter of 2003. They hear an ad with like this woman's cheerful voice talking about how great it would be if we could live in the mall. And
Is that where you got the idea
And
that it's
then
a
you-
common thing to people want to live in the mall? Carrie, it's just a terrible, terrible little
Nope.
jingle from an ad agency. I'm sorry.
I should have Googled it
You
and
really should.
listed all of the movies, TV
people
shows.
living in malls?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I must have led a sheltered life.
Yes, you did.
That's why I couldn't stop laughing.
And that you never have to leave because the mall, especially Providence Place Mall, has everything you need to, live a beautiful life. And-
Strawberry lube at Spencer's. Everything you can imagine. Guns at Walmart. Wait, that's not a mall. Guns at someplace in there.
I mean, when it started, there was like a Nordstrom and a Lord and Taylor, and there was a gym. There were a couple movie theaters, I think, and
Two?
Dave and Buster's.
Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, it
So
was-
you got skee ball.
very large mall.
Skee ball and lube and glow-in-the-dark posters. I don't see what else you need.
Anyway.
One of those popcorn things with this weird popcorns, like zebra popcorn. Did it have one of those things, like a kiosk maybe?
Oh, I'm sure they had a popcorn store.
Okay. All right.
Every mall had a popcorn store.
I'm warming up to the idea.
Probably a little bit late for a Hickory Farms.
Auntie Anne's pretzels.
I'm sure they had
Sold.
Auntie Anne's. And
I'm
they
on
did
it.
have a food court, of course.
So even when it's closed down, they can still, grab some. Sbarro's actually, I believe, never goes bad. Same with hot dog on a stick.
Well, anyway, so after hearing this ad about saying how great it would be to live at the mall, Michael and Adriana, talking to their friends, they were joking. Oh, sure. We could probably, how long do you think you could live in the mall? And so they were just kind of joking and talking about it. And I bet we could probably manage a week. We could probably live in the mall for 7 days. And they would, just jokingly make plans like, well, I guess, there's a gym. We could shower in the gym. They have public restrooms.
Yeah.
We could go to the bathroom.
But don't they lock them? You think they'd lock those at night?
Yeah, I'm sure they would. But
Yeah.
I mean, they're just talking and thinking, but where would we sleep?
Yeah, these are artists who were squatting in a disheveled hovel for years, so they're used to pooping on the floor.
They weren't squatting.
It sounded like they were.
They actually rented the space. They were all productive members of society. They had jobs and paid rent and everything. And after they had to leave Fort Thunder, they all had jobs and they found apartments and they
Carrie,
paid rent.
He named Fort Thunder after his penis. I know you have an image in your mind. I don't mean his penis. I mean of these artists, but it probably wasn't quite.
So they were going to make plans. They actually thought, let's do this. Let's try to live in the mall for a week, full time, literally never leaving.
How many are there?
Because that's kind of what this ad said. I think originally there were like 4 or 5 of them.
So this is kind of almost like performance art
Yeah, exactly.
in a sense. Okay.
So it started out as just kind of a game where they would talk about it, and then they started taking it more seriously, and it was gonna kind of be like their artist statements about commercial spaces taking over residential spaces, and how they could maybe come together or whatever. And they thought because they would be there 24 hours a day, so during the
Carrie.
operating times they could eat at the food court. What?
The mall almost certainly had a Thomas Kincaid outlet, so there's art there.
Yeah.
It's good.
And they started making lists of what they would need to bring in and what they could just buy at the mall shops because
Our steel.
that was all. No,
Our steel.
no.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to respect the mall. Like they were going to buy things at the mall.
At the mall, okay.
They basically wanted to be part of the ecosystem of the mall.
Okay. So they can buy their sterno at the Big Five within the mall. They're not going to bring it in.
Right.
I like it. And malls do. They all close up those gates, right?
Yeah.
What is open during? I've never been at a mall after closing time, obviously.
Well, because there's movie theater that would stay open after the mall closed.
Yeah.
There was still access until like midnight, maybe 1
Okay.
a.m. at the latest.
Summer
when they
hours.
had late movies.
Yeah.
On the weekends, probably more.
Rocky Horror Picture Show was a godsend for these guys.
So anyway, so they thought, let's do this. This will be fun. They were having a hard time trying to figure out where they were going to sleep.
That's the problem. Unless you know the guts of them all and the ins and outs, you get a hard time. Did one of them just go get a job there just so they can learn something about the layout? That'd
Well, interestingly enough, one of the group was actually a grad student getting her PhD in something to do with like public spaces or something. And she was actually writing a paper on malls and something else. I don't know what the exact
how to live in a mall
area
and
of
know
her
about it.
study was. But so she had actually done a lot of research on malls and knew a lot about it.
But they do have roving security. They must, right?
I'm sure they do, but I was thinking the same thing. Like
Yeah.
in certain stores, I'm sure there would be video cameras
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
And they're talking about, I mean, they can't hunker down. They want to have, if they're going to be there the whole time, they've got to get out and walk around. Sometimes that would naturally be whatever, midnight to 6 a.m.,
No.
something like that. No?
They're going to be
Oh,
there
that's right.
24 hours a day.
That's
so
right.
they can roam around at
bad.
noon, and in the middle of the night is when people sleep, so they would be sleeping.
So they'd hunker down. They had to find some place where they can go undetected by security and cameras at night.
Yes.
Okay.
So then Michael thought, hey, when I was living in Fort Thunder and they were starting to build the mall, it was on his morning like jogging route. He would run around the area and he would always run basically on the construction site. And because it was kind of like a fun little game for him, he would like watch what they were doing and try to figure out, what part of the mall is that going to be, and where, what's going to be the parking, and what's going to be offices, and what's going to be stores. And he would just try to kind of work it out in his mind, what everything was going to be, how the layout was going to work out. And he had remembered seeing this one spot that just didn't look like it was going to be part of the floor plan. It didn't look like it fit. It was kind of awkward. I guess the piece of land was kind of an awkward shape anyway. It was this L shape with a river, the Woonasquatucket River.
The made-up word that we all find offensive.
Going through it diagonally.
Okay.
And so they had to literally incorporate the river into the mall. And
like build over it?
yeah, and they like somehow, I can't picture it in my mind.
Why does it go through?
There's a bridge that goes.
That would be phenomenal.
It would
had
be
a bridge over a real-ass river in a mall.
They did build a bridge over it, but I don't know if the entire building went over it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That'd be great.
Yeah. There was
I'd be pro mall if they would do that.
There was also a highway overpass nearby, so they had to like build this weird large curved wall or whatever. But so anyway, Michael remembered that he had noticed that two of the outer walls when they were building the mall that looked like they were going to be built to form a corner. He remembered seeing it like it looks like they don't match up.
No, I was thinking that might be the mall jail, but because they all have jails,
Yeah,
they put
they
people
do.
in prison every night. But if they're not going to have the walls connect, that's a problem.
Yes.
Bad planning.
So he remembered noticing at the time these walls are not matching up. They're not really forming the corner. And so there was a weird gap back when they were building it. So he told his friends about that, and he said, maybe we should go check and see if they ever closed that gap up and what it leads to, what was back there, because I remember it being this weird, awkward shaped space. So they decided to go check it up because they were thinking, well, if it wasn't closed up and we could get back there and it's sheltered, maybe that's where we'll sleep.
Oh, so in Rhode Island, they say check it up, not check it out. I understand now. Go ahead.
Did I say check it out?
Nah, we're fine. We're good.
So anyway, they went back late at night and they brought flashlights and stuff. And sure enough,
Bob, check it up. What's back there?
that weird gap was still there.
Nice. So actually allowing entry into the mall? Wow.
It was fairly narrow. They had to like squeeze in sideways to get through it.
Did someone do metric instead of inches? What happened?
I don't know what happened.
The architect just, my bad.
But inside, it was basically dead space. It was space that wasn't going to be utilized. And when they went in, there were like some little chambers and hallways and stuff. Yeah. And then it eventually opened up into a larger space. And I'm sure they must have measured it. It ended up being about 750 square feet.
That is ridiculous. That's just terrible layout then, right?
It's a 2-bedroom apartment size.
And why is that dead space? It should be something.
You would
or
think
if you're not going to...
maintenance closet or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Storage. If you're not going to use that space, then cut it off before then and make it a little little open space, a little something, anything. 750 square feet is not nothing.
I know.
Interesting.
So it turned out the access from the outside is, that little space they had to shimmy through.
Okay.
But they realized there was access where they could get into the mall proper.
So they get through into that 750 space, and then from there they can find a route into the mall.
Yes.
I would cover up that outside space so no one else finds it, or at least no one else sees it. But how long but the mall's been open for a little while now? And
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And it still had all kinds of construction debris in it and trash like left over from construction workers.
You mean inside this space?
Okay. So that told them, nobody ever comes back here.
Oh, okay.
Right? They didn't even bother to clean it up because they knew it was essentially sealed off and
they probably
never
even
going
used
to be
it. They probably should have disposed of that waste, but they thought, hey, let's save some cash, and because you have to pay for it at your disposal. So that's interesting.
I think it was probably just lazy construction workers.
Exactly. Cheap.
Yeah.
So I just put it back there. No one's using that space.
So they thought this would be a great space. Let's use this, and let's not just sleep here on the hard floor for 7 days.
Let's build bunk beds from IKEA.
Set up a proper little apartment in here.
Nice.
And see how long we can stay here before we either get tired of it or we get caught.
I love it.
So for like the next 6
I
months.
kind of want to live in a mall now. Carrie, this is a pretty irresponsible podcast, actually. You're going to lead to it. This podcast will lead to a surge of mall squatting, and I think we're responsible for that.
I don't think so. So for like the next 6 months, they started cleaning out the trash and junk that was in there. And they would have to do it slowly, right? They couldn't do it all at one time because they couldn't fit very large pieces through the weird opening in the outer access. So they'd have to take everything through the mall. So they would come in, during normal business hours.
That's hilarious.
With like a backpack.
Why do these guys have ladders and paint? I'm confused.
They would bring in like a backpack, and then they would buy things that they think we're going to need, and they would in the
Beds.
mall.
Yeah.
And then
Seriously,
use
an
their-
IKEA would be a very convenient thing.
Well, there's no IKEA.
I mean, yes, they're going to wind up with an Allen wrench that you can't use and an extra, some kind of extra something that you know belongs in there and is important to the structure of that item, but you don't know how to do it.
Well, so they would have like their shopping bags. So they would carry those things in, load up their backpacks and shopping bags with trash and junk, and haul it back out again. So it would take quite a while. They would have to do this over and over again.
They're like World War II POWs trying to escape from a German gulag.
Yeah.
German gulag? Whatever.
So they decided that they would buy most of the stuff that they needed for the apartment at the mall. But one thing they couldn't buy was like a base for the bed. So they brought in a base during regular business hours. You just carry stuff through the mall like you're supposed to be
Especially if
delivering this or whatever.
Or vaguely look, workerish.
Yeah.
Something, wear some overalls. I don't
Yeah.
know, overalls, coveralls. You know what I mean? Just you'd be fine. Yeah.
But they bought the mattress to go on it at the mall. So
They're buying local, Carrie. You have to give them that.
and that was part of their rules, I guess, that they set up when they decided they were going to do this. They also decided
They do realize these people will not. The owners of that mall are not going to forgive them. Oh, but we bought everything here. We didn't steal anything. It's cool, right? You guys aren't going to press charges, are you? Nah.
So they decided they wouldn't all stay there at the same time because it wasn't that big of a
750
space.
feet, yeah. How many? You didn't tell me how many there were.
I said it started out
Oh.
with like 4 or 5, but
Okay.
eventually it grew to 8 of them.
8. Yeah, that's getting tight.
Yeah. So they decided, okay, 2 or 3 of us, or maybe 4 of us, will stay there for maybe 2 to 3 weeks at a time, and then the next group would come and stay.
Did they always eat out like the food court? Did they have anything? Because I think the one thing you'd have to be really disciplined about, like smells and sounds and things like that. You wouldn't want to cook stuff back there, I would think.
It was pretty well insulated,
was
so they didn't really have to worry about that.
But there was literally an opening to the outside. And this is Providence, so that can, I imagine, unless they insulated that opening, that gap, it could get pretty darn cold, wouldn't it?
It probably did. And I think the way they described it when they first found the place, they had to go through corridors and other little spaces.
So the actual opening they're sort of protected from that. Okay.
Yeah. They didn't open immediately right to the outside.
Yeah. Still, that would be the single most dangerous thing. Any kind of space heater or something like that, you can get yourself in big trouble. Pretty quick.
They built a cinder block wall to help for security.
For security, like from
them.
the outside, or from that
Maybe.
gap?
I'm
Okay.
not sure
That would make the
exactly
most sense.
where they built this cinder block wall. They installed a door with a lock for the mall side so that,
What's this door doing here, Bob? I don't know.
exactly, so that if people started roaming around and found it, it would at least be locked and nobody could just walk into their space. Most of the time that they spent when they were there, they would spend their time cleaning it and improving it and decorating it because they said doing that stuff in the mall apartment was way more fun than doing it in your regular living space. They brought in a large screen TV with a PlayStation,
Damn.
a couch and a love seat and a coffee table, a china cabinet,
A China cabinet.
which they basically had to bring
one
in
piece at a
through
time.
the mall.
Yeah,
and
it's a large object. Well, I
Very
guess
large.
if you're walking down a mall with an object you've purchased, it doesn't look weird. Then you and then you have to duck into some back door though, hopefully
Yeah.
unseen.
they,
You know what you'd think actually is that the mall regulars, especially security, would start noticing these people. Hey, I've seen that guy every single day because they would go out into the mall every day.
yeah.
So you think someone would notice, okay, I know there are mall regulars, but Jesus, these guys are here every single
But
day.
all of them wouldn't be there every day. And you might be there every day for a few weeks and then you wouldn't be there for a month and a half.
I feel like it's a long
and-
time to be there every day. A few weeks
Well,
that you'd start.
yeah.
I guess if it's
But-
it is a
but
big mall.
also-
What was the square footage of the mall again?
I don't know. I never said what it was.
Oh, I thought you did.
You made
Okay.
something up.
I can make something
Before.
up now if you want.
It was a lot. Like I said,
Yeah.
it was a
Super-
super
yeah,
regional
that's-
mall. It was large,
Okay.
and it literally was the only shopping in the area
Oh.
after they built it.
Really?
It probably put a lot of other independent stores out of business. So it was basically it for, I don't know, all of Rhode Island, but certainly for that area. So there were a lot of people who, there are people who go to malls all the time back in those days, as you recall. So, I'm sure guards and store workers got used to seeing a lot of the same people all
I
the time.
suppose. Okay.
I don't think that was an issue at all. So anyway,
I stand corrected.
they set up a kitchen with a refrigerator and cooking appliances.
That's where. Great. They're going to have a source of flame back there. That's getting dangerous.
Well, they might have been like a hot plate or, they didn't
That's
set up
still-
a gas oven. They had to use extension cords to get to
You're describing
outlets.
something that can go wrong terribly.
because there weren't outlets in there.
Yeah.
They brought in a kitchen table and chairs, and then
I'm
they,
surprised they didn't burn themselves up.
they didn't. They started decorating with
There
rugs.
goes the suspense. I thought this was going to end in a horrific fire.
No, I don't do those kinds of topics.
That's true. That's true.
With rugs and house plants, they put framed art on the walls. They
They
were artists.
did they send pictures to House Beautiful magazine and hope no one noticed where they were? What's your address? 555 Maple Drive.
They even set up a website, like a fake real estate website, advertising this luxury 750 square foot
Okay, so they
apartment
did do what I did.
called The One, and they put a fake address.
Okay.
But they put funny things in it, like round the clock security, and we have hundreds of employees on staff at all times to meet your every need. And-
Walkable retail.
yes, and parking for 5,000 cars, and just silly things.
Their walk score was 100 for sure.
So, just to be goofy and weird, and
I like
you know.
them. I like it. I hope they weren't in jail long.
They were making plans to make space for a second bedroom.
They're now getting greedy. They
Yeah.
are going to take over some closed space. Some Spencer's closed up, and suddenly it's a bedroom. That's dangerous.
They were going to install flooring, and they were still trying to figure out how they could tap into the mall's plumbing system so they could have a working bathroom
In their space.
in their space. And
They
then
would have to construct a bathroom.
yes.
That's not
I don't know
easy.
how they could do a toilet. How could you do a toilet? That would be very
I mean, you
difficult.
could, but you'd have to literally tap in. You'd have to do plumbing
Yeah.
to tap into their toilet
Yeah.
plumbing, whatever. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
That would be very
they're getting a little
difficult, I
greedy
would
here
think.
now. This
Well,
is hubris,
They
Gary.
were working on it.
Okay.
They hadn't quite figured out what that was, how they were going to get that done. So, like I said, they had made rules, and the first rule was you can't tell anybody else,
That's the same rule as Fight Club.
just us.
It's good thinking.
And no bringing guests. You can't.
That's a very smart rule.
You can't bring any guests in. So
I also don't tell anyone. Don't even tell people, let alone guests. Are they
that-
telling people?
That was the first rule that we literally just said.
Oh, I thought it was Fight Club. I thought no one talks about Fight Club. I was confusing it with Fight Club. Can we cut this out?
Also mall apartment. First rule, we don't talk about the mall apartment.
We can just cut this out.
No, we can't.
Come on, man.
Second rule, you can't bring anyone. Do I need to review the rules with you again, Dean?
Actually, you do.
Okay. Don't tell anybody.
And
Don't bring anybody.
got it. I think
Just
I have it now.
us. Just us
Okay.
8 Fort Thunder artists.
Okay, what was the second rule? Karen, this is actually a sign of early dementia. You should be more worried.
I know. So this started in 2003. Is when they moved in. So one day, in like mid 2007, 4 years, they've been doing this.
God. So it was going to be a couple of weeks, a
It's
week.
going to be 1 week.
Now it's 4 years.
4
they've been doing
years.
that. But again, in shifts. So they,
Yes.
which means they had to maintain whatever their rent or whatever
Yeah.
for their
Oh, yeah.
actual
They all,
places.
nobody was
Okay.
homeless. They all had places to live. and jobs, and
Did it ever?
one was getting her PhD. So
Did it ever expand, or you know what I mean? Did it change? Did the group of folks living there change?
I don't
a couple
think so.
leave, a couple new come in.
I don't think so.
Okay, like a fantasy baseball league.
No.
No.
But that probably was fairly quick on the horizon.
Yeah.
But they had thought, this is great. We're going to keep this space for the rest of our lives. We'll hand it down to our children.
Okay.
This will
See.
always be here, kind of thing.
But we don't have plumbing.
Yeah.
But we have to always go to the bathroom in the mall bathrooms, so you can't really. I would think you could not get a bathroom then between whatever closing and opening, and which would be a problem for me.
Unless you're a guy.
And you'd also have a problem with the showering. You said there's a fitness center, so they can shower at the fitness center.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Would that be? See, now that does. Now you're seeing the same, just the fitness center employee, you're seeing the same person for at least, say, several weeks in a row coming in and taking a shower.
Because they had jobs and stuff, nobody was staying there 24/7.
Oh, so I see. So even during that 6 week, they might go home
and
for
take
a couple.
shower.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. So
It's kind of cheating, but okay.
Yeah. So this day in mid 2007, one of whose ever shift it was to live there, came home, and the first thing they noticed was that the door had been forced open. So their locked door, somebody came and opened it, and they went in and they noticed some of their things were missing.
Oh no.
The artwork from the walls was taken. The PlayStation, but the TV was still there. Some other personal
TV's
items.
big, so.
And a photo album. Somebody had brought in a photo album.
That's where you know what, Gary? Sounds like an inside job to me. Or someone broke the first rule, which you could tell me again now what I think. No, I'm kidding. and so someone knew about it and maybe had a beef. I don't know. I'm putting it out there.
Well, they left immediately. They were a little bit freaked out.
Yeah.
And I don't think this was Michael, but they probably called Michael and said...
They called the police. We've had a break-in. Wait. Oh, this is a terrible idea.
Well, they called an emergency meeting of the Trummerkind.
Okay.
So they got together and they couldn't figure it out. They had no idea who had broken in or why they took the weird things that they took. But they agreed that they were going to have to kind of tighten up their security or whatever and their comings and goings. And they agreed, okay, you guys, don't tell anybody. Don't ever bring anybody here. We got to keep this secret.
See, it's not just me. Someone there forgot first two rules. They're easy to forget, Carrie. It's not.
Oh, I'm sure they had been telling people.
Damn it. For sure
think?
they had.
Yeah.
Over 4 years?
Yeah.
There's no way you couldn't.
Yes. So...
I'm going to tell you right now, if anybody invites me to be a mall squatter with them, it is a very high likelihood I'm going to talk.
Well, so they thought this happened during the day when whoever was probably at work or something. And so they thought, well, if whoever came this time, they would probably come during mall opening hours. So they'd probably only come during the day. So let's only be here at night.
Okay.
So they thought, we don't want to be here. We don't want to get caught.
At this point, it almost seems like, why are you doing this? They're not really living there anymore. It's been I don't know. It does seem like it's kind of run its course.
Yeah, but they were still having fun.
I suppose. They proved their point.
They were making it even better.
Now I think is the time where you make your documentary.
Well, and also, exactly.
Send it to Netflix.
I would be bored by this time.
I would,
absolutely. It's a lot of work
okay.
for what? I agree.
I have to clean since we have this whole ethos thing, we have to clean the toilets in the mall bathroom that we use. That doesn't seem right. There's people for that.
It's a little bit like this podcast.
What is? What do you mean? What you saying? What are you saying?
We started doing this just as a lark in 2016.
Are you saying you're getting over it, quote unquote, air quotes? What a bastard.
Just saying.
Okay. All right.
So we're back to, so they're only coming at night for a little while at least. So then in October 2007, Michael Townsend, kind of the ringleader of all of this, he had an artist friend visiting from Hong Kong, a real cool artist from Hong Kong.
Okay, all right.
And I get the feeling
Jimmy Wang, cool artist from Hong Kong. How you doing?
Jaffa Liu or something like that.
Oh, Jaffa Liu. No way. Seriously?
But anyway,
Never heard of Jaffa Liu.
I get the feeling he wanted to impress her. So he broke the rules and he told her.
Oh, no.
about the apartment.
And she is gonna blab.
She-
All over Hong Kong, everyone in Hong Kong will know about this mall in Providence, Rhode Island.
Well, she thought the concept was really cool, and
Yeah.
she kind of wanted to see it.
Okay. She's gonna do an art show about mall squatting in Providence.
He brought her, breaking the second rule.
Yep. See, he also had to be reminded of both rules.
Shortly after they got there, he's showing her the space, showing her around, telling her about their plans to try to make a bathroom and a second bedroom and the flooring and all that kind of stuff. And they were getting ready to leave, and so they walked over by the door, and then he could hear noise and then like the crackling of a walkie-talkie, and he was a bit alarmed. And then all of a sudden there's pounding on the door, and then the door just bursts open, and it's like 2 or 3 people, mall security and like the mall general manager or whatever. So Michael didn't know what to do. So he threw his hands up and said, "Surprise."
We've been waiting for you. We called you. How you doing? This is about your birthday, John. My name's not John. I don't know who you are. You're under arrest.
So Michael and his friend cooperated, because what are they going to do?
Yeah. They could have just fled out the little hidey hole area there.
They could have, but they're grown-ups. And,
What do you mean? They're going to get arrested.
So they get taken to the mall security
Grown-ups
office.
flee rather than get arrested, just FYI.
Well-
were they taken to the mall jail? There is a mall jail after all, isn't there?
There was an office, and they were basically told, "We've called the police. They're going to come and arrest you."
This is why you should have fled.
So they were talking to the mall people, and they told them that their space had been discovered by a new mall security officer who was kind of enthusiastic and probably doing their job a little bit more with more focus.
Yeah.
And they had observed people going in and out of this one area that nobody else ever did. So it was like the same few people.
So you had the first competent mall security guy in
4
years cruising over there on his Segway and going, somebody's up to something back here.
Yep. So they
They
decided.
just carried in a huge bunk bed already put together. Something's wrong.
Well, that part was already done.
I
So
know.
they didn't even see any of that. But so they decided to go in and check it out. They found the locked door and realized, we don't have a key for this door. We can't get this door open. So they broke in.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that
who took the stuff?
the stuff, and they took those things to try to see if they can look at them and figure out who was doing it. The photo album,
The PlayStation,
pictures
the
of
photo
people.
album, the art.
PlayStations, you log in sometimes if you're doing,
And the art, was there art of people, human, faces,
I don't
pictures,
know. I don't
photos?
know what the art looked like, but theoretically, they were looking for signatures or whatever.
Landscapes.
I don't know.
We just liked your art, guys.
Who knows? I don't know. But they were trying to see if they could identify who was using the space, and they couldn't. Nothing they took was helping them. They were mall security after all, not seasoned detectives.
And besides, the login for the PlayStation was like Rambo 69. It was not helpful.
So anyway, they decided to just wait till somebody comes back. We'll keep our eyes on the access, and when somebody does, it happened to be Michael and his artist friend. So they were arrested and taken to the police station. The artist was immediately let go. It was clear she didn't live in Providence, and she didn't have, she was not involved in the whole thing.
She's fresh from Hong Kong. It's like, what the hell is happening? I'm never coming to America again.
Michael, of course, was arrested, and he spent the night in jail.
He should have absolutely faked a Chinese accent, said I too am from Hong Kong, but in an offensive Chinese accent, and see if he can get away with it.
But he didn't give up any of the other Trummerkind.
Wow. They tortured him too. They waterboarded his ass.
Except for his wife. They did know.
Wait, he gave her his wife? My wife did it, no one else.
But I don't think
her
she was
idea.
arrested and charged with anything.
You should
Only
arrest
he
her
was.
and charge her.
He was the only one who was.
Do it to her. Put the rat cage in her head.
The mall owners wanted him charged with every felony they could
Did I not tell you this?
think of.
Did I not tell you this?
What?
That they're not going to be forgiven just because they played
course.
nice.
Yeah.
They should have stolen everything every night. They're going to prosecute us anyway. We might as well have fun.
Well, they couldn't. They couldn't charge them with stealing anything because they didn't.
Yeah, well,
But they wanted to charge him with breaking and entering, destruction of property, disturbing the peace, causing
disturbing
a
the
safety
peace.
risk.
They were
I
the
know.
opposite of disturbing
Exactly.
the peace. Safety risk with all that electronics back there, not untrue.
Yes. So when it got to court, the judge started asking questions like, exactly what laws did they break?
Well, they did.
So they started telling,
Something.
but actually, cite the law because there really isn't one beyond trespassing.
Yeah,
Yes, it was
trespassing for
trespassing
sure.
because this is private
They
property.
didn't break and enter because they got through the little
Exactly.
pathway thingy. That was genius.
And he said, you don't have any proof of theft or anything. And they said, but they used electricity.
oh, God. Get
And so
over
the
yourself.
judge said, okay, if you can bring me records and, with some sort of trail of how much
Electricity
how
above
much
and beyond
electricity
what
they used, you
yeah.
can charge them for the electricity.
Yeah.
You can make them pay you for it.
So in other words, this judge was an art fan.
But other than that, I think the judge was kind of amused
Yeah.
by what they had done and realized it was
A victimless crime, in a
kind
sense.
of, and it wasn't really worth the court's
No.
time to deal with it.
The mall, though, is trying to say, we don't want this to happen again. If
Exactly.
we can make an example of these guys.
So the judge said, trespassing, sure. We'll charge him with that. It's a misdemeanor. He got, I think, probation, no fines.
Community service,
no jail
ironically,
time.
at the mall.
And to add insult to injury to the mall people, they were forced to return all their belongings to them.
That's cool. We have receipts for everything, mall guys.
So then Michael was delivered a letter from the mall saying he was banned for life.
Like,
And
trust
there
me.
was a map
You
with
don't
like
need
a
to.
red line of where if you enter this space, you will be arrested.
Oh, you know what you should do? That river has to be public space, right? He should every day take a kayak down that river. What? Huh? No, I'm not good enough. I'm in the water. Can't stop me.
Well, he was the 665th person to be banned from Providence
okay.
Place
Well-
Mall. Mostly it was teenagers for gum chewing, spray paint, and rollerblading where they weren't supposed to.
Like in a mall, for instance.
He was the only one who was banned for actually living there.
Yeah.
And he had to issue a public apology to the mall owners, security, and the public, which still exists. His public apology is published on his blog.
He's so proud. I would go so over the top in that apology.
It is a bit...
I know I have ruined many lives. I can never say sorry enough to make up for what I've done. You'll never get back that electricity.
Well, it's either very sincere or very sarcastic.
I'd go B.
And he has lived up to his lifetime ban. He has never been back to the mall.
Why would he ever want to?
2007. He still lives in the area.
That's right. There's no place else to shop, huh? So
Exactly. He has to
too bad.
things that he had to use like TaskRabbit and basically Instacart and those services if he wants something out of the mall.
How is he going to get weird flavored popcorn and keep on trucking posters without going to the mall? I don't understand.
He has to send somebody else.
It's too bad. It's sad. Really. I mean, all that stuff. He'd spend a lot of time at H&M if he was not banned from there, I'm sure.
Well, this became a news story.
Yeah.
And
This was what year? 2007? Okay.
Late 2007. And it actually became a national news story. So, a lot of
I don't remember.
reporters, they wanted to interview him and all
You
that
remember
kind of
it?
stuff. No.
Okay.
So I heard about it a few years ago on a NPR podcast, 99% Invisible.
What? What'd you say? Did you say
Podcast,
words? What's it called?
99% Invisible.
Oh, okay.
Or
I
maybe
thought you
it's
said
99% Visible. Anyway, it's a good podcast.
Okay.
If you want
Take
to
your word
listen
for
to
it.
this episode. And he, as I said, he's an artist. You want to know what kind of artist he is?
Mall art?
Tape art.
Tape art? What does that mean?
Sounds pretty silly. They do murals and stuff using like blue and green painter's tape.
Oh. Just so it's kind of a two-color scheme. That seems. Are there a lot of
is.
other? There's got to be other colors of tape.
No.
Really?
Well, all of their stuff is blue and green. he started doing tape art in 1989.
Wow, he invented tape art.
I think he probably did.
And he's still the only practitioner.
And no, he's got a little group of
Okay.
people that does it with him.
Huge
But
on Pinterest.
the notoriety he got for living in the mall really brought a lot of awareness to his tape art
Nice.
thing that
His
he had
grand
going
scheme
there.
worked out.
And they would go do like big murals on like huge, like the entire side of a building. I mean, they would have to, I'm sure they had to build scaffolding and stuff to do this.
Did the mall hire him to do?
No, he couldn't do them all or he'd be arrested.
They should do that. Go, huh? If you can get here, we're going to hire you to do a mural. Oh, what? You can't get here? You can't stay here?
He did this one installation, in quotes, because they're temporary, they're not going to last, of like, did he say like 17,000 squirrels, little squirrels
Ooh.
in tape.
All blue and green.
All in tape, like, a whole bunch of them over this big, huge space. And then it's there, you photograph it, people walk over it and admire it, and then you take it down. I don't think he leaves his murals up for more than a day.
He started out, actually, I do actually know something about this in his
you?
background. He started out using Scotch tape, but it just looked like the wall behind it until he figured out I should use colors.
Yeah.
So I do remember him now.
Well, the first, I don't know what color tape he started using.
Masking.
Some
Everything's beige.
kind of tape. I don't know what it was. And then they discovered, then the manufacturer of the tape he used like went out of business. So he couldn't get the tape that he wanted to use anymore. And then he discovered the blue painter's tape, which is really good because it's not super sticky and it's really easy to remove.
Okay.
And then there's also the green. I think it's called frog tape or
Sure,
whatever.
I'll
So
take your word for it.
that's what he uses. So this really beefs up his tape art business.
Sure.
And then he starts doing corporate training.
Oh.
So I think
So he completely sells out.
that's what he
great.
does now.
Corporate training for what? How to squat in a mall or do tape art?
Tape art.
Corporate training tape art.
Yes. And
Super confused.
I think his biggest client is GE. Like he goes to their headquarters.
Hey, salesman, you can sell better if you know how to do tape art.
And I guess they have learned, and it's been proven through GE's corporate employees, that there's a correlation between leadership training and creativity.
I think it's a negative correlation.
And no, it's not. And
According to G, it's not.
Because having good leadership abilities, I guess, kind of like encourages collaboration. And, if you're a good leader.
Depends.
Right?
Depends on how you define a good leader.
Well, I'm defining it as a good leader.
Okay. Okay. Well, that explains it.
Somebody who, you know what a good leader is.
I think
Everybody
I
knows what
do,
a good
but
leader is.
there are different interpretations.
Well, he actually has a TED Talk.
Oh, of course
You
he
could
does. Of
Probably
course he
find
does.
it on YouTube.
I will not do that. I despise that.
I'm not talking to you specifically, but
I want to ban
if
everybody
you-
listening. Don't listen to Carrie and don't listen to that TED
no,
Talk.
if you want to look at, well, you can look at it on his website, which is called tapeart.com.
He got that one. Okay.
Yeah, he did. And but you can also see him on his TED Talk, and he shows a lot of the GE art
Yeah.
that the people do, and he explains whatever.
That'd be sad if he got tapeart.cc because he missed out on tapeart.com.
It is pretty interesting, but so that is all.
That is, what's his last name again?
Townsend.
Townsend. That's right. Pete Townsend of The Who. Got it.
Michael.
Little known part of his life. Well, thank you. That is interesting. I had never heard of that. And I'm going to make an admission here. I had never heard of tape art until just now also.
Well, I hadn't heard about tape art until I
All right.
looked up.
So that part I said about Scotch tape, I made that up.
We know.
Okay. I didn't know if you knew it. I wanted to be very honest with you. Has there ever been any other cases in your research? Any, even, much, much shorter, but is that something that goes on? I mean, you did make the case that everybody wants to live in the mall. So I would think there'd be other cases of something like this. Not 4 years.
I did
but
not do research into this. I literally
You
just
stole this whole. You didn't write this. You didn't research this. Did
no,
you
I
steal
didn't
this
do
from
research into living in malls. I did research about the Trummerkind.
the Trummerkind? Okay. So your assertion
Providence.
that everybody wants to live in malls at some point in their life is based on no research whatsoever.
It's based on my knowledge of popular media.
Okay. And you said there's lots of movies and TV shows in which people are living in
Yes.
malls. Okay. I'm just curious. I'm curious to know one of these movies and or TV shows.
Where the Heart Is.
Never heard of it. Feel like you
I'm sure you
just made that up.
haven't.
And mall rats, I don't believe they ever live
Mannequin.
there. Mannequin. They live in a mall in Mannequin?
Mall rats probably
Mall
also.
rats, they do not. You only said that because I just said that, and I just said
It's
they
brought up
don't
in
live.
everything about this.
I don't think they live in a mall. In mall rats, no, they just go there a lot and hang out. You probably think also weird science. No, Carrie. Robert Downey Jr. simply
No.
poured his smoothie, I think, onto their heads in the mall. Nothing else. They didn't live there. So this whole thing's falling apart, Carrie. It's falling.
It isn't.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to take your word for it in this one too. That everybody other than me
I'm gonna look
has
it
wanted
up,
to live in malls
and
at some point.
I will have to put in a little addendum.
Do a
to
weird
this.
bit on living in malls.
No, I won't.
I hope you find it. I do. I hope you find lots of instances of mall living and malls in media. Do the Wikipedia, and at the end it'll say in other media, and you'll find tons of citations. So trust me, it'll happen. It'll happen. Mm-hmm. Listeners, she is looking at me with a lot of real anger, and I believe my life is
we
in
have
danger.
a lot of listeners who don't like you.
I just haven't never heard of anybody wanting to live in malls. That's all.
So it can't exist.
No, I'm not saying that.
Uh-huh.
It probably does. I've been very clear.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for telling us about that story of mall squatters, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that.
You might want to Google it and look it up so you can verify that it's a true story.
I believe you. I believe you wholeheartedly.
Just make it up.
That would be phenomenal if you made up this entire thing.
I'm gonna start doing that.
Oh my God, that'd be great. Just scary stories for now and just completely fictitious. Okay, well, thank you for listening, listeners. Even though Carrie just told you a completely fake story, don't feel cheated.
I thought you were going to thank me for the story.
And thank you for the story, Carrie.
Well, you're not welcome.
Oh, wow. Now.
But all of our listeners are welcome.
Now who's becoming the unlikable person here?
Not me.
Still me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening, and we will see you in a week? Question mark? Probably, for sure. Or maybe tomorrow, because you can just,
Exactly.
you've got stuff to live. Okay. All right. See ya.
Okay.
Bye.